Hello everybody, this is Gene Star134 coming to you with a new movie review. As you can see, this is Identity Thief. Now, this is slightly spoilerish, just letting you know off the bat. I won't cover the top, so I won't try to ruin the movie for you if you haven't seen it in theaters, which is still in theaters. But I thought it deserved at least a nice grazing over, something that can at least give you food for thought before you actually decide to see it. Now, coming into this movie, it was made from the actual directors for Horrible Bosses, and that was a really good movie. One of my favorite movies. I mean, heck, my favorite quote from that movie is, "You were drag racing in a Prius. I don't win many races." Hilarious. So now this guy named Sandy Patterson has his identity stolen by this woman that you really don't know her name. Not to spoil too much, but you really never get a true identity out of that character. But that's the idea of the movie. So he gets his identity stolen. The only thing is he has so many things in the mix at the time, especially since he's trying to get a job at a different firm after his boss, played by Jon Favreau, who's okay comic. More of the jerk, the over the top kind of buddy guy. But he plays Harold Cornish, the boss who makes millions upon millions of dollars and a complete jerk and jackass. And so Jason leaves along with the rest of the group and goes and starts a new firm. The only thing is the person who steals his identity with in the name that she plays by in the movie is Diana, played by Melissa McCarthy. She steals his identity and racks up all these charges, all these debt, and overall wrecks his life. And Sandy Patterson speaks to the cops saying, "I want this corrected," and the cop says, "We can't do anything. She hasn't done anything across state lines, so our hands are tied." And so he decides he's going to take it into his own hands and take her in. Now, it's an interesting thought, and a lot of people would probably be like, hell yeah, how many identity thieves get away with it each year, stealing people's money, identities, life, and just completely wrecking them? And that's understandable. But the plot needs a little more consistency when it comes to that build. And it's really good because you see the development of the characters and you actually do get attached to them, including Jason Bateman's character, Sandy Patterson. You see his life with his wife and his daughters, and you just feel for them and have the idealistic family moment. So one thing this movie did very well was set tone, and that was a tremendous thing. The only thing is, after that, the story seems to start to lack. He tracks down Diana, and he's like, "Okay, you're coming to jail with me." And through that, it becomes a whole bunch of whirlwind antics that everyone compares to The Hangover, and so on and so forth. Primarily The Hangover, just because the Melissa McCarthy's character is very silly, very childish, and I can't believe I'm even saying this, but they consider her the male Zach Galifianakis, female, sorry, but understandable, but at the same time, it seems at the beginning she just tries too much. Every other word is a curse from her at the very beginning, and again, her play and acting is very childish, very too. I can't say the word correctly, or I can't describe it, but it's like she's trying too hard. It's funny when it's something that just comes natural, but for her it feels like it's not natural. And I could be completely wrong on that. She's still a very good actor. I'm not going to bash her in this movie, because later on you actually see her and Jason Blum even more as characters. And yes, the focus on her and him, but that's what another part of the story is lacking. And I can honestly say the acting cast put this movie well into production. They blasted it out of the water, but the problem was the writing. That's all that really ruined this movie in so many words, was the writing. That's not to say this is a bad movie. I actually got into it about halfway through the movie when you actually start learning and then seeing more and more of these characters. Yes, again, only you see them two bloom as personalities, but after a while you do get a chuckle and you start to actually laugh and enjoy their antics and their stupidity along with their actual tensions, their actual emotions, their actual scenes. So in a sense, the movie accomplishes what it does through not by the story, but by the actors. And that is truly acting talent. And I can say this movie does have some interesting acting talent. I mean, to have, well, oh my god, it stuns me to say this, but Robert Patrick is in the movie. And for those of you who don't know, the biggest role that everyone will ever remind him or remember him for is the T-3000 or something like that in T2 Terminator, where he fought Arnold Schwarzenegger in the second movie, and he was the cop. Biggest role he's ever done, but he's since then been always known as the villain. And to see him in this movie is quite interesting. You do get a very cynical sense, like a desperate sense that he's in there for the paycheck, but at the same time still trying to be serious. And that's not bad. It doesn't really work well, but it's not bad. And it really, again, the actors did tremendous. They blasted it out of the water. And if it wasn't for the plot holes and the story, this probably would have been, even as a comedy, an Emmy award-winning movie. But as a comedy, does it make you laugh? Does it make you feel good? Does it allow you to enjoy yourself and watch the movie? For me, not at first. But for those who like the stupid antics, the silliness at the very core, this is a perfect movie for you. I believe you would actually enjoy this. As the movie goes, I do suggest it. It's a very good movie. Again, you can't think too much as far as it goes, even if it is a comedy. There are a lot of unanswered questions, but does it satisfy at least a silly, unjustifiable, idiotic itch that everyone has every once in a while? And it does. Again, this is one of those movies you gotta kind of shut off your brain and enjoy the fun. You got to go along for the ride, and that's what this movie is. Aside from that, it's actually fairly good. You get involved, you laugh, you kind of get emotional, the whole ride. So overall, I do recommend this movie. I hope you enjoyed this review. I know it's a bit wishy-washy. Just gear up, shut off your brain, and enjoy. And I hope you enjoyed this review. This is GeneStar134 signing out.